Hello, everyone. My name is Gabrielle Guinier, and I'm Head of Environmental Sustainability at BT. Thanks for joining us in our Journey to Sustainability webinar. Today, we have a special guest, Pranav Chopra, who is CEO of NEMI Teas. But first of all, we'd like to do another live poll to get to know you a little better. So could you please let us know what industry you're from? And the poll should be live on your screens now. So it looks like we have people from communications industry being the highest. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for that. I just wanted to start by giving it a quick background to BT and taking climate action, which is nothing new to us. We've been taking climate action for almost 30 years now. Back in 1992, we were one of the first companies to start measuring our carbon footprint and set a reduction target. And the reason we at BT focus on carbon emissions is because that's by far BT's most important environmental impact. And by 2016, we had reduced the carbon emissions intensity of our business by 80%. So we've decided to go even further. And now we have another target to reduce the carbon emissions of our business by 87% by the end of March 2031 and be a net zero carbon emissions business by 2045. 2/3 of BT's end-to-end carbon emissions come from our supply chain. So it's very important for us to work with other companies on their sustainability journeys and on carbon footprinting. I think this year is a special year. We have a unique opportunity because the UN Climate Conference, COP26, will be hosted by the UK in Glasgow in November. So it's a great opportunity for us all to get together and take climate action. And I think, to me, the biggest challenge this year is really around scale. To tackle climate change, we all need to play our part. Whether that's a business, small or large, whether that's governments, or whether that's citizens. So how do we get more businesses to take climate action? And I think a lot of times it's around leading by example and being inspired by others, which leads me to Pranav, CEO of NEMI Teas, who will talk about NEMI Teas' journey to sustainability. And I hope this presentation will show you what another company is doing and give you some ideas. So a bit about Pranav. He is a passionate social entrepreneur who's been involved in a number of ventures with a social development agenda at their core, ranging from empowering refugees by selling specialist teas in the UK, tackling the issue of illiteracy in India through the power of tourism, and reducing food waste in Australia. So over to you, Pranav.
Great, thank you, Gabrielle, and thank you everyone for having me here. Like, it's a true privilege to be on this, just sharing our story, our journey, what we've been up to, and hopefully people can pick up a few pieces of nuggets of information, sort of advice today as well. So just want to share about NEMI Teas. So for those who haven't come across, we proudly call ourselves to be the UK's greatest social impact tea. In essence, we're a London-based tea company that provides training and job opportunities to refugees living in the UK with a very strong focus on sustainability. In essence, we sell a range of whole leaf tea blends, both in plastic-free tea bags and as well as loose tea. We also sell a spicy chai latte syrup for chai lattes and chai cocktails. So 4 key sort of areas of focus for us is we're an ethical tea company. We empower refugees through employment, have a very strong focus on sustainability, and we offer high-grade tea, and I'll run through all those 4 shortly. And as I mentioned, sort of our core product range is our tea bags, loose leaf, and the chai syrup. We do sell those 3 products both in a retail level, so in cafes, delis, as well as in supermarkets, as well as at a wholesale level, where we work with large corporates like PwC, Ernst & Young, where we're supplying our teas to their meeting rooms and boardrooms. So that's where our teas are being sold at the moment. And that's our product range as well. And just deep diving into the variety of teas that we do sell, we've got a whole range of teas, again, as tea bags and loose leaf tea. So it's not it's got the full range there as well. So that's been a huge focus to ensure that we supply teas that meets all our clients' needs as well. And just next, I wanted to highlight sort of the food service clients. As an organization, we have worked with sort of more smaller independents, as well as the larger sort of clients, like the likes of Leon and Ernst & Young and PwC. So it just showcases that even as a small business, you can sort of create your own niche within the saturated UK tea market and really break into the sort of the supply chains of these large corporates, because increasingly they are very interested in the sustainable agenda of their suppliers, as well as the social impact that they're creating through their businesses as well. So, and we've been successfully been able to break into sort of large corporates, and hopefully that will continue in the coming time. And so one of the core focuses of the business for NEMI Teas is actually around providing employment training to refugees. This was, I think, this was one of the core reasons we were set up 5 years ago, and this was to really help them overcome two major hurdles that they face in settling into the UK, as well as really breaking the UK into the UK workforce, is their lack of local work experience, and pretty much not having a UK company in their CV. And even once they do get interviews, it's the lack of having access to a local referee who can just vouch for them, saying, yes, Mohammed will come to work on time. Yes, Anwar has got great work ethos, and he'll be a great addition to your team. So that's something we want to help them overcome, and hence where NEMI Teas was born. And through their training program and sort of the work experience that we provide, they get to practice their English skills, regain their self-confidence, and just improve their general communication skills, which they really struggle practicing in their own sort of environments as well, as you can imagine. So that's something we really help them overcome. For the last 5 years, we've worked very closely with 20 refugees who've come through the program, and we employ them right through the supply chain, so they're involved in the packaging and the distribution of the teas. We used to do loads of external events pre-lockdown. Hopefully those will come back soon, as well as internal sort of marketing and sales efforts as well. In terms of partnerships, we work with Refugee Council UK, but more closely with Groundwork London and Hotel School to recruit refugees, and that's where we sort of get them on our programs, and we do have them from all across the world. Mostly from Eritrea, Sudan, and more recently, quite a few from Iran as well. So, and we pay them a London living wage to ensure that they are financially sustainable as well. And that's our sort of employment training program for refugees that we face. So as we say, where there is tea, there is hope, and we will continue to carry our work on in the coming years as well. So that was a huge focus for us when we kicked off our business. But an underlying, I guess, sort of focus for the business has been on sustainability as well, and we call them our 3 non-negotiables. And so breaking them down into sort of biodegradable, plastic-free packaging, and organic and fair trade. So just deep diving into that. I guess everyone's come across sort of the microplastics, the issue around sort of plastic and tea bags. Just deep diving into how we've overcome that is we provide tea bags, the pyramid tea bags, which are 100% biodegradable. They're actually made using a material called Soilon, a PLA-based bioplastic derived from corn starch. So it can be disposed of in a compost bin, in a home bin, and actually successfully decompose it into carbon dioxide and water. Again, the whole process of decomposing, it's not overnight. We need to recognize that, especially as technology improves, that process will improve. But that's the next step that we've taken is we're using cornstarch material now. Another piece of research that we did was sort of the string and the labels are typically attached by glue on a tea bag. What we did is I looked at alternate ways of sort of remove that glue material, and so now we're actually attaching the string and labels using ultrasound. And that's sort of, taking us to that next level of ensuring that there's tea bags are 100% plastic free. So we've taken that next step in sort of, I guess, the tea bag consumption across the UK. Secondly, yes, we supply our tea bags, which are 100% plastic free, but it's the packaging that we use to pack them in. Obviously, it needs to be food safe, material safe, and it has to remain fresh. So it gets packed in a material called NatureFlex, which is made of renewable wood pulp. It is suitable for home composting, and is also marine degradable as well. And that's sort of the packaging that we use to store our tea bags. And lastly, it's the organic and fair trade. I guess that's very critical for being as a tea supplier. We are an organic, fair trade, and a Rainforest Alliance certified organisations ourselves, but we also only work with other organic and fair trade certified organisations. So all our partners have a transparent supply chain, and that ensures that we pay for fair wages to the farmers and help them sustain their livelihood as well. So 3 non-negotiables for NEMI, and that kind of just links up with us looking to really tackle climate change and achieving net zero carbon emission level as well. And that even as a small business here in the UK are working towards. We work very closely with our tea manufacturers in India and Kenya to get a better understanding of the greenhouse gas emissions within their tea production processes. And we have helped them implement sort of new processes to help shift towards a carbon neutral tea sector. And some of the initiatives that we've been involved in is at a small scale, but they have included sort of installing solar panels within the warehouses and production facilities. We've also supported some of the tea estates to implement a energy data capture system to easily and understand sort of the use of data sort of within their setup to support energy efficiency as well. So we've taken those steps with our small scale farmers to really come on that journey of achieving that net zero carbon emission that we're looking to tackle as well. So that's NEMI Teas sort of focus on that space. And just moving on to, I guess, upcycling, and that's again a huge focus for us. We believe it's the future of sustainability. It's our retail tubes, packaging that we have are a container, a tube which basically you can use. Obviously, once you've consumed your tea, it can actually be upcycled into a tea container, as well as like a pen stand, a paintbrush holder. I've pretty much got these tubes all around my house, using as coin holders, coin storage holders. But it's important that it is made of food grade material, so it can be used to store coffee, tea, other stuff as well. So it's a point of let's just you reuse that material that we've got into sort of reuse it across different areas, and we believe that's the future of sort of sustainability, and hopefully other brands can also follow suit and actually come up with packaging which can be reused. Funnily enough, we've actually used the notion of the Selfridges yellow bag for the ones that it's a really nice looking bag that people don't want to throw away once they've bought it. It's the same thing with packaging. I believe with our packaging they wouldn't want to throw it away, and that's it's been really successful with that as well. So I think that's the way future of sustainability that we believe in, and hopefully other brands also believe in that too. So just in summary, I guess we've aligned with the UN SDGs, and it's the goal 1, 8, 10, and 12 that we closely align with. It's tackling injustice, inequality, as I mentioned about the 3-month training program of refugees that we run here in the UK, and also help them into the hospitality sector where there is a huge demand at the moment. So, and I guess it's just ensuring that they've got access to equal opportunities as locals do, and that comes through having local experience. Secondly, it's the sort of sourcing ethically and sustainably angle that I just spoke about around sort of the fair trade certified organisation, the organic, and Rainforest Alliance certification as well. So, and also, I guess through employment comes the whole ending poverty goal as well, and we pay our staff London living wage, just ensuring financial sustainability. And lastly, and very importantly, around sort of tackling climate change, and that comes through working with small scale farmers, as well as sort of offering the 100% plastic free tea bags in our product range as well. So that's how we link up with the SDGs. Just next, through our work, it's quite satisfying when sort of, I guess, your work gets recognised in both national and international press. And that's not just for our work with refugees, but also our focus on sustainability as well. So, and the materials that we've used in all our sort of, I guess, products. So there has been sort of press coverage as well as there have been some recognition within the industry as well. So again, really satisfying, just pushes you to take your business to the next level. Again, both have been around sort of the work with refugees as well as sort of the environmental focus of the business as well. So again, just nudges us to, continue our work within the sector. And sort of just wanted to highlight actually how it all ties in. Really, it's a complete journey for NEMI. It started, it's only started 5 years ago as a small business, and now we can proudly say that we've sort of ticked off all those boxes in order to really challenge other large clients to really question them. Are they looking to work with a sustainable tea supplier, which we are? Do they want to offer tea bags that are plastic-free and possible to their clients? If so, we can supply that. Are they currently using those traditional sort of single-serve envelopes where you literally rip through the envelope, you take out the tea bag, which you're going to consume anyway? Why are people using that? So, and that material is non-biodegradable and just simply adds to plastic waste. It's around sort of changing habits and views around sort of, I guess, tea consumption. Also, are people looking to support the UK social enterprise sector, UK organisations? If they want to get involved, we are a registered social enterprise in the UK. They should get involved with us. And lastly, procurement spend's huge for all organisations. Do they want to use that to create jobs for refugees living in the UK? If so, that's where we come in as well. So we've got those sort of the 5 pointers that we're really proud of. And that's the solution comes in is NEMI Teas. We're actually the UK's only dedicated tea supplier that is a social enterprise, offers plastic-free tea bags, biodegradable packaging, and is also fair trade organic certified. So that's NEMI Teas, our journey so far, and hopefully, that's helped people sort of pick up a few pieces of information here and there. So there you go, Gabrielle. That's NEMI.
No, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Pranav. So many things that I didn't know, and I really like this one that you've attached the string and label using ultrasound rather than glue. Just in terms of, obviously, you do a lot of research around materials, around changing things. Where do you start in your research, and how do you get to these ideas? And I guess another question for me is always, so why isn't everyone doing this? Right? I mean, it seems so sensible. So why doesn't everyone else?
Yeah, it's well, I guess, I'll get to the first point around like where you start off with the research, and I guess it ties in with why doesn't everyone else, because it is a very painstaking process and it gets quite expensive as well. So I guess how we started off, because being just entering the tea sector, there's a lot of moving parts involved. So what we did do is we investigated every aspect of our supply chain. So either be it the tea we source or the material we pack it in, we have to ensure that it is sustainable and really assess the real impact of the environment. So I really believe sort of an easy starting point for newcomers, for new businesses around sort of when they're looking to research is actually find out more what the competitors are doing. So, rather than undertaking a research project, let's just review what other competitors are doing and just get a better understanding of the existing landscape. So if an existing solution sort of suits your needs, you should just go ahead with that potential supplier. No real further research needs to be undertaken. But again, it's just if it's a good fit, because as I mentioned, it is a very expensive and painstaking process. And that's where a lot of companies tend to sort of, take those shortcuts and not look into every single detail and how that really, I guess, impacts your supply chain. So again, otherwise, once you've, I guess, done the research through looking at your competitors, you could also search wider through your networks. We've also felt that was also really useful as well, because there are other suppliers or other partners who've done and conducted the research around sort of, using sort of, I guess, ultrasound rather than glue, or just the materials available for tea bags as well. So rather than just doing a blank search on Google for sustainable tea bag material, which could, lead you to endless results, and that's where sort of it gets lost. But and so that's been the way I'd suggest take on research, because again, it can be quite broad, can be quite expensive and cumbersome, especially if you're a smaller company as well. So I think just got to be smart with your time and resources, but that's the way we've done it so far. So I think
Yeah, no, that's great. So really, I guess, for us as well, as a bigger company, really understanding your supply chain and understanding best practice and using your networks and talking to people just to learn more around what's leading edge, really. So, I really like how you can reuse your canisters at home, whether to put, pens in or whatever you want to do with them. And I can just see your house with them everywhere. I can just imagine it. So how do you get your customers to come with you on this journey?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like as I mentioned, the concept of upcycling, or sort of the creative reusing, is something that we really strongly sort of believe in at NEMI, and we do encourage all our clients, not just individuals that buying our tubes and retail packaging, but also our wholesale clients, to instill within their lives, as well as within their business practices, but also just trying to engage them so that they can start thinking about using sort of this whole notion of upcycling with other third-party products as well. And how we've done that so far is we've run through sort of several social media campaigns through our social channels, really highlighting the importance of reusing, avoiding single-use plastic, and ways you can upcycle sort of retail packaging. We've run regular giveaways to winners, to coming up with the most creative upcycling concepts submitted to us as well. And so that's just allowing our customers to really get involved in that process, and get creative and get people talking about this important notion of upcycling. So, we've done some, I guess, tongue-in-cheek options of just getting people involved and showcasing. And there's lots of, loads of different ideas around. So I've seen loads in cafes that had, I guess, wine or glass bottles cut halfway and using them as like candles or lampshades as well. So there's lots of really creative ideas. And I think, we should all be looking to go down this path of upcycling sort of products that we use within our houses.
So kind of your top tips for for companies that might be starting their sustainability journey. I mean, where do you even start?
Yeah, I think it's a tough one, and especially because sustainability is such a broad term. I think I believe it's just best to start by identifying what matters and then work towards it. So I suggest literally writing down what is important to you and why. Both of these are equally important. And you could use UN Sustainability Development Goals as guidance, as we have as well. So really identifying what you're aligned to the most. But I think, secondly, I think assessing carbon footprint across your organization is quite critical as well. It's not just a matter of, linking up yourselves with the goals, but also assessing your carbon footprint. And again, this can be quite a cumbersome and expensive process. However, it's much needed for you and your organization to get a real good handle in order to make a real change, and working towards becoming a sustainable business. And what we've also found, and other smaller businesses actually, I suggest nominating a sustainability champion within the business, because it does take a significant amount of energy to get sustainability goals into the consciousness of your employees and across the business. And so you really need that natural burning passion of your champions to drive this. And I think that's worked really well within our business as well. And so just having those leaders in place. So I think, just a few tips of people looking to, I guess, start their journey on sustainability, really having that clear, identification of what they're looking to achieve and why, and having those people in place in order to achieve those goals. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that resonates very well with our experience at BT as well. And I think, as you mentioned, the importance of having champions, because there are a lot of people who are, personally incredibly passionate about this topic, and they can really make a difference no matter where in the organization that they sit. Just for the audience, if you have any questions for Pranav, please put them into the Q&A. So I just wanted to ask you, Pranav, I mean, one of the things that I know companies think about is, financial benefits. Is there a financial benefit to doing anything on sustainability? What's your experience on that?
I guess in terms of financial benefit, it's the commercial opportunity that have arisen through being a sustainable business. For us, I guess, given our focus on sustainability as well as the work we do with refugees, that has opened up doors. We're working with large corporates. They are looking to, especially in the tea space, they are looking to offer compostable tea bags within their business operations, and us having that offering has definitely helped. So that, I guess that painstaking process of research that we undertook and the material that we use has eventuated into more business. And, I guess that's the way forward for other corporates, other businesses as well, to really differentiate themselves and having those sustainability practices in place has opened up doors for us. So that's what I'd suggest.
And have you seen any brand recognition, any improvement in reputation? Is that kind of one of the main things that you get from doing this?
Absolutely. I think over time we have developed that brand of a sustainable, ethical tea brand within the UK, and through that we've actually had a lot of interest from overseas, especially the US tea market. And there's a lot of interest in other sustainable businesses as well, especially I guess the Made in UK brand is there as well, and having those checks in place has really helped us develop that brand name for ourselves in a very short space of time, especially in a very saturated industry, which tea is. So it's been it's one of the toughest markets to actually break into. So there's always questions like we could have chosen a I guess an easier, less competitive industry. But again, I guess we've challenged ourselves, and we've been able to break through. Which has been really satisfying. But I think just having those sustainability practices in place, also creating a positive social impact through our business operations, has really helped us, grow our own footprint within the business, within the sector. So.
And differentiate yourself. So a question from Emily about people upcycling your products. How do you bring the customers with you on the same journey and educate them to upcycle? And I guess that's a broader question, around how do we bring more people onto this journey? How do you bring your customers? How do you get them to get what you're on about and think, oh yeah, okay, I want to upcycle this? Do you tell them, is there something written on your canister, or is there something?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So just going back to, I guess, the social media campaigns that we've done, we issue out a lot of blogs as well. So we through LinkedIn, we publish a lot of text around articles around the benefits of upcycling different ways. We promote other brands as well, like Lemonade and Chari Tea, another a beverage back brand which does upcycling really well. So we're really showcasing and promoting other businesses as well as ours, what we've achieved, again through social media, as well as our internal newsletters, as well as on our packaging. We do talk about how it can be upcycled, and read more on our website around so every touch point with our clients, we do promote around the whole concept of upcycling, or at least just introducing them to the concept of upcycling, because it's I think a lot of people are upcycling items around the house without knowing so I think it's just a matter of it's those real basic steps that can be taken, but they can go a long way in achieving sustainability.
And of course we have to mention it, COVID-19. How has that affected you and your business?
As in being in the food and beverage industry, it was overnight, it took a huge hit, and especially as we were focused on the food service sector, which is supplying to cafes, corporates, and pretty much 16th March 2020 was the last date, where we got our last big order, and so it's a huge portion of our business just suddenly overnight just shut down. So and obviously that has a full impact on the jobs that we provide to refugees. So that core focus of the business was suddenly sort of took a massive hit. We had to put everyone on furlough and unfortunately lay some people off as well. So it had a huge impact. But we picked up ourselves, we pivoted more into the retail side of things, and since then we've scaled. We've actually grown through COVID, and that's through actually providing our retail packed gift hampers. So obviously the care package industry went off the roof. Really, everyone was looking to buy gifts for each other. So this is where our sort of teas, and again, I guess the brand awareness of an ethical tea product came through really nicely, and we've had some real success there as well. And hopefully, as things improve now, with things opening up, I guess the corporate sector will open up. But over the last 1 year, we've actually been able to sort of, I guess, develop further within the retail space as well. So we've taken that sort of, I guess, that downturn into an opportunity and actually consolidated ourselves within the retail space as well. So going forward, we're set to scale in both retail and wholesale.
Oh well, that's fantastic. Well done to you and the team. I guess some people might be thinking, well, okay, as a small business, just all this COVID stuff has happened. How on earth am I going to be able to focus on sustainability as well when I'm just, there's so many other issues that I'm facing. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, look, there's a lot going on, and sustainability is very important, but it just depends of how you want to contribute. It can be small, it can be on a large scale. I do sort of suggest that sometimes you can really look at just local environmental causes and support one of your choice. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be significant. You can support a local initiative, and not necessarily through financial help. A lot of charities, sort of climate change charities, are looking for expertise rather than financial support. So it could be in finance or marketing to really sustain and grow the initiatives. So if you're looking to contribute within the whole sustainability sector, doesn't have to be for you to start up a significant groundbreaking business. It can be as simple as contributing to an existing initiative, which is doing some amazing work, and not through even financial help, just through expertise. So it's up for you to take that step, the next step. And I think there's lots of different ways that you can actually help really achieve that net zero carbon emission target that we all have in place. So yeah.
Yeah, so I think probably just a couple of more questions. One of the things that I get asked, and I think it's always very interesting, most of us who work in this space do it for a personal reason. So there's something that, I don't know, in your childhood or in your youth that you decided this is important to me personally, which is why I do it. Do you have one of those stories?
I guess it's just the way we were brought up, really. I grew up in India, and I think during sort of what we've seen our sort of parents, grandparents sort of go through is that whole notion of upcycling just always existed. You kind of just reuse what you had and had available. So that's sort of, I guess, I've got that over to my business as well. Just that notion of let's just use the resources and materials that we have already. What can we do without it? And that sort of got instilled in the packaging. It's about, we want to be, I guess, the environment we want to live in, we got to take care of it. And that's where we thought, okay, any material that we use has to be recyclable, compostable. And so I guess those personal stories definitely do tie in. For me, it was more sort of my family upbringing. So no, definitely that's how that comes through at NEMI.
Yeah, agreed. So we have a question from Jeff. Saying sustainability is difficult to implement in industries that do a lot of temporary installations when there's a lot of travel involved. So if you're doing events, How can we become more sustainable when so much of our job uses single-use items like hundreds of meters of duct tape or carpet?
I guess it's an like to be honest, it's a very sector specific question. So I guess I would suggest look at alternate materials, which you already have, but look at potential. Again, it goes back to look at other competitors, what they're doing. You know, literally just research around what are other players doing, and maybe there are ways that you haven't thought about implementing within your organization. There's always another solution out there. I don't know specifically for your sector, but I think that's what I'd suggest, is to look around. Look at competitors, looking within your networks, ask around. There has to be an alternate solution. And, you know, sometimes there is a new innovation. It might be quite expensive, as it was in our case, the tea bag material, but it's just what you believe in. Sometimes you just got to take the hit and choose those sort of more alternate, sustainable offerings rather than using the traditional duct tape, for example. So again, just going back to the aspect of researching, and just deep diving into what's available out there, and going ahead with alternate which meets your goals.
Yeah, and I think certainly in the carpet industry, there's been a lot of work looking at using different materials and recycles, and just an example from our industry, what we've tended to do is get together with others. So, you know, starting coalitions. So, for example, for BT, one of our biggest challenges going forward is how do we decarbonize our fleet? So we've got the second largest fleet in the UK. We've got, you know, see all these open reach vans. We've got about 33,000 vehicles. So we need to create conditions in the UK that help accelerate the transition to EV. So that means, you know, where are the charging points? You know, we need to get to price parity on electric vehicles. So we got together with the Climate Group, which is an NGO, and then also with other companies. So we now have 30 companies involved in something we called the Electric Fleets Coalition. So I think, you know, obviously in your industry, there are probably other people who are facing similar issues, and just getting together with them and putting pressure on the suppliers and creating the demand and saying, well, actually, we don't want duct tape anymore. We want something else. Or, you know, you go and figure out what the alternative is. And I think we've seen that on renewable electricity, for example. You know, if companies hadn't said, this is what we want to buy, and consumers said, this is what we want, it wouldn't really have happened, I think, in that way. So I think we've talked about probably research and guidance and where you started. I think just around things that we can all do in our everyday lives. What are 2 or 3 things that everybody can do? Buy NEMI Teas.
I guess I was about to suggest that, you know, you've got to get out there, buy NEMI Teas, but you know, I think it's just it goes back to that whole point of upcycling. Really look around your house, see what you can do with the existing items that you've got on your shelves, or you know, around the house. And basically, I think like home composting religiously can actually make a huge impact. You know, I think we can all do a lot better there. But definitely, I think that's something that we underestimate. It's just composting ourselves, and just again, I guess just looking at other environmental causes that you want to support locally, and you can get involved through there by again offering your expertise rather than sort of providing funding. So I think that's another way that you can really contribute to sustainability, and not really directly sort of implementing ways you could support others. So yeah, just a few ways really, but I think buying NEMI Teas should definitely be your first step.
I like it. That's great, Pranav. Anything you want to say in closing? I don't think we have any more questions at this point.
I guess, look, you know, as a small business for us, it's been a long, tough journey for us, but I think we've got there. You know, we've done a lot of research. We've met a lot of, we've had a lot of hurdles as well. And, but I think it's just a matter of what you believe in. As I mentioned, just got to identify what you believe in, how and why. And I think they really help you sort of, I guess, define your next steps within your business as well. So I think it's just as long as you're clear with what you want to achieve through your business, both from a social impact perspective or a sustainability perspective, and that would really help you drive your business forward. So I think, it's tough, but I think we all need to take those next steps if we want to achieve what we are looking to. So, yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Pranav. Thank you for being with us here today. That was fantastic. Wish you all the best, and thank you again.
Right. Thanks so much, Gabrielle. Thank you for having me. All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I just wanted to say thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I thought that was really inspiring. So great work by Pranav and the team at NEMI Teas. I hope you've learned something new and how you can start on your sustainability journey and where to look and thinking about what matters. Please reach out to us on social media and let us know how you enjoyed today's session. As I said in the beginning, to me, this year, 2021, is really about building scale on climate action. And I hope we'll be able to inspire many more companies to come on this journey with us and get involved. So to help small businesses across the UK to take their first step, we're encouraging you to sign up to the SME Climate Commitment. If you have a look at the UK Business Climate Hub, that's an initiative set up by the UK government where you can get guidance on how small businesses can start their journey to net zero, what you can do in terms of measuring your emissions and developing climate strategies. On the hub, you'll also get tips around how to reduce emissions, what you can do in terms of renewable electricity or in terms of your lighting or in terms of travel. So also, I hope that before you leave us, if you can complete our super quick feedback form, that would be great. If you want to rewatch the session, the YouTube link will be posted in the Q&A. And our next climate event from BT will be on the 15th of June at 10:30. And that's where we'll be joined by the Carbon Trust. And we'll be discussing carbon footprinting and what is that all about and where do you start on your carbon footprinting journey. So if you want to sign up, the registration link will be shared with you. And again, thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope to see you soon.